It's October 20 something. I lost track. Anyway, I tore the siding off this house so that me and the carpenter can put the new patio door in. I couldn't find one small enough to fit properly, so I had to rip the siding off because the nail flange will go underneath where the siding would be. But surprise, surprise, I start tearing stuff down below, and I find all kinds of rot in here. So that means I tear this deck off. So goodbye deck. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, replace that yet, but anyway, it's an old deck, but still a lot of good lumber in it, but it's just a nuisance right now. I have to rip this whole bottom plate off in order to get this bottom piece of siding off, because there's a splice right here, but it doesn't do me any good. I have to pull the whole length off. So to do that, I have to cut through. I'm just going to cut through this decking. Screws are hard to get out because they're buried deep in some of these pieces of wood. I'm going to stick a sawzall and buzz through these floor joists. It's October 28th. Let's see, today's Monday. On Saturday, 2 days ago, I had a carpenter come and he and I put the entrance door in and picture window. Yeah, the middle section has to be replaced. It got damaged when I was hauling it here because I had it laying down. And then replace this bedroom window. So I have to buy some trim, cut it to fit, and put in around here for both windows. And I have to do something around the edge of this brick mold for the door. This J channel was removed on this side and it's tight, so I can't, I'm gonna have to take siding off and either remove this, because there's a gap there besides, or I'll have to buy some new J channel. This one actually isn't tall enough because this door is actually a little bit taller than the original. It was a weird length door. So yeah, I'll have to remove this siding, buy some new J channel, likely buy it in white, and run the perimeter of the door. And I'll have to trim this siding back a little bit to make clearance for it. Still have the remainder of this deck to tear apart. Yeah, lots of rot here. It's rotted all the way through. So I stuck a water bottle in there just to plug the hole temporarily. So there's about a 12-foot section that I'll have to cut out and replace with a new 2x8. And then the seal plate is also rotted for maybe about that same amount of length. And the flooring into the kitchen, there's an area that's rotted out, so I'll have to replace plywood under here after I get the patio door out. And this bottom wall plate might be good. There's some rot here though. I'll have to dig in and see if I have to replace more or not. And then I'll likely take off this built right around the door and put new 1/2-inch thick plywood. Then it will cover up the rim joist. And then I'm getting rid of this deck, and I intend to come back and build a patio. Retaining wall blocks for the perimeter, fill it up with gravel, compact it, and put some of this crushed concrete on top, like maybe 2 inches thick. Compact that, and then I'm thinking 2-inch thick patio pavers like I had bought for the sidewalk, which I haven't installed yet. 16-inch square. So it would wrap around similar to how the deck was, only a little bit smaller. So the wrap around, but it wouldn't be the same height as the deck. I need to keep it down below the top of the foundation. So that would mean I'd have to have one step up into the patio door here from the patio, and one step up from the patio into the entrance door. Nice thing about a patio is that I would no longer have varmints underneath the floor, because I can see where they've been under here digging. And you get stuff falling through the cracks. I found some money, other things that have fallen through the cracks of the boards. Once it falls through, it's basically impossible to recover it. Concrete paver bricks would be nicer in the winter. Shovel off the snow. It won't be slippery like a board. Boards tend to get slippery when they're wet and when they're covered in snow. And then the patio, it should be maintenance free. You don't have to worry about anything rotting. Don't have to worry about fasteners rusting off. Because this deck, even though it had treated posts, pressure treated posts, they rot off. Just about every post I've touched, it's rotted off right near ground level. The decking that's on this framework had been replaced once before, because I assumed the previous boards rotted off, and the screws that held them on, they even rusted through. So I'm thinking the patio, it'll be good for a very, very long time. I guess that's about it for now. Electrician was here today, hooked up the air conditioner and the furnace and the water heater. So making progress. It's October 30th. Got the deck off. And I'm working on where the patio door was. I removed the patio door a few minutes ago. All of this in here was rotted out. The doors that were in there. The sill plate is rotted here, so I have to cut and section a piece in there. This floor is partially rotted, so I'll cut out a section of that and replace with 3/4 inch plywood. I see this stud is rotted out, so I have to remove that and replace that. I don't think I have any 2x6s around, so I'll have to go to the lumber yard and get at least one 2x6. And the bottom plate is rotted here, so I'll have to section a chunk of that. This stud doesn't look too bad. It's weathered because it was exposed to the weather, but it's not rotted. And the plate seems pretty good, so I think I will be leaving that alone. Rusty nails and screws wherever I look here. Got quite a collection of previous fasteners that I removed, filling up this tub, and have all these 5-quart bucket full of screws from the deck. Lots of rot. And I believe it all leads back to the prior installation of this patio door. It's not the original door to the house. Somebody replaced it along the way, didn't properly finish it. They didn't have proper flashing around it or below it. So the rim joist soaked up lots of water and just spread. I need to buy some more 3/4 inch plywood, being this Bolterite is 3/4 inch thick, and I think I'll replace the full 4x8 sheet on this side and the other side with new 3/4 inch plywood, and then immediately around the door opening too, I'll have all new 3/4 inch pine, spruce or pine, fir, whatever plywood, CDX plywood. Maybe I'll even buy one piece of 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood. Maybe I'll run a strip along the bottom underneath the door, so if it ever does see water again, at least it won't rot out. I have to think about that. Otherwise, just plain CDX, I might be able to protect it well enough. Thinking about this out loud. So I'll need to build a small deck of some sort, basically for steps into the house. So I'll need to have an exterior treated 2x8 along the outside of the rim joist to build a deck off of. So maybe I should have treated plywood behind that, otherwise water could get between the treated 2x8 and the inner 2x8 and cause issues. So yeah, lots of planning and work ahead. And then where the entrance door is, I need to remove the bottom piece of siding because I want to put a treated piece of 2x8 there as well to build a step platform off of. Cut a new sill plate from some treated wood that I had removed from the deck. Got it notched for the center beam so I can place on top of these blocks. I had a roll of fiberglass. I cut it and peeled it into thin layers to use it as an insulation between the blocks and the sill plate. So here's the center beam that I notched around. So it's 8 foot. That removed all the rot from the sill plate. So I'll squeeze that in there. And then I have to do some more work on the wall here, cut and section some pieces in. I didn't remove the entire stud, I'll just splice it here, but maybe cut this one down lower so it'll overlap for more strength. I think I have to check what my door sizes, but I think I have to remove at least one of those layers of 2x6s up above there. So get that in, sill plate, and then I can put that 12 foot long 2x8 in place for the rim joist. I believe that's what it's called. Let's place that in, and then I have to cut some sections to run between the inner joist and the rim joist. I'll put every, I don't know, bottom maybe 2. So I've got the sill plate in place and I got the rim joist in place, and I just about have the plywood flooring in place. So this wall was hanging down just a hair and really making it difficult to get the plywood under, so I put that pry bar in there, pried up, and then held it in place with this chunk of 2x6, and that's working. And then I just pound a couple pounds on each, a couple swings on each corner with the axe against the black block of wood here, and then it's kind of walking its way in. There. I popped it in place and I popped that pry bar out. Just have to pound this corner a little bit. It should go in place. Just a little bit further. It's hard to swing hard with only one hand on X. So close. Corner is catching just a little bit on the side. Let's see if I can correct that just a little bit. Easier said than done. So there's a gap there, and here it's tight. It looks quite tight all along here, so something is slightly askew. So just have to be more aggressive with it. This end is catching slightly, so I had to cut three-quarters of an inch off, I think, the end of this piece. Where I thought it would have been needed exactly 8 feet, but it was 95 1/4 inches needed. So maybe I didn't get a perfectly straight cut. I don't know. Too close, it has to go now. There, perfect, I hope. So cutting up the old floor, I ended up cutting through nails with my circular saw. But carbide blade, it handled it fine, but I'm sure it's not as sharp as it used to be. But there, put that section of flooring in place. I intend to put laminate flooring over the entire floor in this house, so it's really over this just fine. It feels flush. Basically flush the edge here and here, so let's see where the two pieces of flooring meet. It's tight there. A little gap here though. There again, maybe my cut wasn't perfectly straight and square, I don't know. It's a little gap there, and then it's extremely tight in that corner. Can't imagine I had it off that much, but it's in there. So I still have to extend this plate out. I need a 16-inch chunk in there, and then I need to splice in a chunk here. I may cut off the bottom of this because it's kind of chewed up from carpenter ants apparently, and tie it all together. But it's getting late, so I think I better call it a day. But before I leave, I have to take 2 1/2-inch sheets of plywood and apply it over the opening because it's supposed to snow overnight. Got the plywood on, so I'm gonna head home. I loaded up the pair of old patio doors in the back of my pickup so I can throw them in a roll-off box. And that'll be it for today. The replacement glass for my picture window was dropped off this morning. They're supposed to call ahead of time so I could help them unload it, but I wasn't here. They dropped it off. Now I can't get it in the house by myself, so I called the lumberyard. Guy will come up soon and help me pack it into the house. Hopefully it isn't raining by then yet. Got the new patio door in on Sunday morning actually. Bought some composite brick mold this morning, so I'll put new brick mold around this door, being it didn't come with it. Put some house wrap on before I put the brick mold on, so it's ready for the rain that's coming. Get that on, and I can start putting the siding back on and make it look a lot better. It's got the paver block sidewalk in place. They're 16-inch square, 2-inch thick concrete. They weigh, I believe, 40 pounds a piece. Got a patio. Working on a step up into the patio door right now. Got the siding back on the house. I have some tape to remove. I numbered each piece before I removed them so I could put them back in their original location. So what I got here, I reused the lumber from the deck that I removed. The framework was in good shape yet. Over the posts were rotted off. But anyway, a lot of good lumber left in it, so I reused a bunch of it. I wanted concrete surface to step on. I don't like walking on wood in the winter. It can be very slippery. So I designed this to accept these paver blocks. They'll fit inside here. There'll be 10 on the top tier and then 5 on the bottom tier, bottom step. So I haven't tried installing them yet. That'll be the next step. Hopefully it works out well. And if it does work out well, then I will make a step for the entrance door here. I still have to remove some of the siding here, trim the siding so I can put new J-channel in here, because this replacement door didn't fit in the original allotted space. And for whatever reason, this existing J-channel is very bent out of shape. So I'll remove that and put all new J-channel around the perimeter of the door. And I'll put a new, I think it's a 2x10 I have, like I did here on the rim joist. I'll cut out this bottom piece of siding and put new treated lumber there up to about this location. And then the step will butt up right next to it. I don't actually have the steps fastened to the house. Being it's sitting on these paver bricks, the frost will heave these blocks slightly, so I want it to be able to freely move about. So if I fasten it to the house, something would possibly get torn, broken, whatever. So it's free to move about, the heaving of the frost, and I'll have the same thing here. So I'll lay some blocks now. So here I put some of the patio pavers in place, so you can see how they fit in there. The blocks are 2 inches thick. I recessed the joist down 1 3/4 inches, leaving the blocks stick up just 1/4 inch above the framework. The edges are beveled, so there's no sharp edge to catch your feet when you step up. I need to bring a block plane. Or I could bring a router. I would like to either bevel or radius the edge here of the front board here, and this one as well. Otherwise, eventually, with your feet dragging, the corner will splinter off. So if that radius or bevel that should avoid that issue. Anyway, so far so good. They're fitting in like I had hoped they would. So it feels very stout. So I think that'll work okay. The patio I have sloped away from the house so that water will drain away. So as you can see, the bottom board there is tapered so that the steps itself is nearly level. I have them sloped outward just ever so slightly there again, just for rain to drain away so it doesn't back up towards the house. But I only have like a 1/16 of a bubble on my level, so it's very minimal slope. All right, they are done. They are all in place. Yeah. January 25th, 2025. Just swept off the sidewalk. Had a light dusting of snow yesterday. Got a steps made down to the entrance door. I cut down part of that willow tree. Had a cut fire when I was burning around it. It was hollow. The inside was hollow and rotted, I should say, and it caught fire. So half that tree died, so I cut down the dead part. Got that pretty much cleaned up. I bought a new stainless steel sink for the kitchen. That's brought that today. The old one wasn't in terrible shape, but it had dents in it, was scratched, so I thought I'd better put a new sink in, being that the cabinets are all new. New cabinets, new countertop. That was just finished a little week ago today actually. They finished installing the cabinets. So it's red oak with a clear coat finish. Put trim up around the window again, finish that off. Still some sheetrock repair to do. I bought cedar board planks to actually do this wall here. Just gonna cover that up with wood. I might start painting on this wall today. This bedroom I finished painting. I think I'll put a coat of paint on the shelf. It looks kind of dungy the way it is. Just bare sawdust board. This bedroom I started painting. I should point out the new ceilings. I had the old popcorn texture removed. I hired a professional to do that, and then he applied a new texture and a knockdown texture. And then I primed and painted it. So it has a big improvement over the old ceiling.